Get out of the way, would you? Look at this here. Big day today, boys. Big day today. See where we are? We're in here. See what I'm doing? See that? See this? See that? You see anything? Paint day. So, it might seem to you, and every now and then, the odd person who actually watches this stuff makes a comment about, you know, show this or do that, you know, or whatever. And so there's a lot of shite that I miss doing these videos on account of there's a lot of, I think from what I see, if you'll just allow me to jump around and not make any sense whatsoever for a minute. A lot of the stuff that I see out there, people who have, you know, the old YouTube channels, they do stuff to make videos. You know what I'm saying to you? Because they got to make content for everybody to watch. Well, I don't make content. I don't even like saying content. In fact, I apologize for saying content just then. I don't do stuff to make videos. I video what I'm doing. I mean, I get what they got to do on account YouTube is how they're... Come on now. YouTube is how you're, you know, being able to buy name brand hot dogs instead of the no-name shit that's made out of pig's feet and chicken beaks. Probably what hot dogs are made out of anyways. But so yeah, they got to do that kind of stuff to keep the old ball bouncing. And actually, I think a lot of them that's what they do in the first place. But what the hell was I saying? Oh yeah. So you miss a lot of the shit that I'm doing on account of because I video what I do. I don't do stuff to make a video. I video when I'm doing stuff. And sometimes the guys just got to get to getting. So there's been a few days here that I haven't done any videoing because, like I said, sometimes the guys just got to get to getting. And I had to get to getting because they got to get. You got to get. You know what I'm saying to you? You got to get. You know, I really did have a better point than all that. It's hard for me to talk and try to do stuff while I'm working because I'm working over here. I mean, at some point, maybe I could do stuff to make videos, you know, and make my living doing that. If anybody ever recognized my unworldly talent. But that ain't happened yet, so I still got to work. So this is me working. I'm working over here. So yeah, we're going to paint this up today. It is, I don't know. Most of my videos that I put out, they're actually pretty damn close to real time. In fact, a lot of times I'll do a video during the day, and then that evening I will sit down on the couch with my phone, it's right there, and edit the video and then put it out that same night. So today is Thursday, but I'm not sure if I'll be doing that today because paint days are, I mean, there's a lot on a paint day. It ain't just a matter, like there's lots to do, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to work 15-hour days. So I'm going to get a bunch of taping done here. I don't really know which way, oh yeah, I got a bunch of holes to fill up. I don't really know which way is more beneficial. Like, because I do a lot of the work that I do, I paint the vehicles in pieces. And what I mean by that is with the doors and the fenders and the hood and the trunk off, you just paint the carcass of the car, then you paint the panels, and you start assembling the painted panels onto the car. So that does a nice job on the car, as long as all your colors jive, because sometimes they don't, and that pisses me off. But you get no tape lines and stuff on the car. But a lot of times, though, I find in reality, the effort and the stress involved in doing them that way, because let me tell you something. It might not mean shit to you watching, because I mean, you're just watching somebody doing stuff. But the guy doing the stuff, if you're trying to get a fender lined up with a door, or you're trying to get a door on there, or you're trying to install a tricky panel, and everybody's painted all over the place, and you're all by yourself because you got no friends and you got nothing but a damn cat wandering around who's just itching to jump on stuff and scratch it, it's stressful doing that shit. And I'm going to tell you what, I have decided, actually I knew this a long time ago, I didn't just decide it, but in the long run, it ain't worth it. And for the amount of people that recognize or give a fat rat's ass that they don't have any tape lines inside their door jamb, how many people do you go around swinging doors open on nice cars and look for tape lines? And if you do that, how often do you get kicked in the balls while you're swinging doors open looking for tape lines? You're masking like this and you go down a bit like, you know, like I'm doing here. Sand that edge with an old scratch pad or something so your paint sticks. Because you don't want to, what's going to happen is when you go to unmask this and you peel it off, a lot of that paint could come off with your tape and your paper here. And sometimes if you unmask something at just the right time, there is a time in a paint's life when it don't matter what you do to it, it'll peel off. Like there's a certain window there where it's in between liquid and kind of jello-y. It might be shelled over on the surface, but the underneath of it, even sometimes right down to your sealer, is still kind of like jello underneath there. And once you start peeling, you can take that shit off in a sheet. I've seen it happen. And I've seen it happen come out from the inside of a jam, where you're unmasking your jam, started peeling it off where it overlapped your tape, and then that peeling went up over the edge and started ripping the paint off. And that's a bummer. We're a little while later. I forgot to turn you back on. I'm here wiping down, talking, yabbering away, and I thought, wait a minute, are you even on? Is this thing on? No, it's not. Is it on now? Like I see people, they get the degreaser, and then they just put it on the towels and wash the car, and then they walk away. Well, don't do that. The majority of this kind of degreaser, it'll leave a film on there. And not only that, but going back to the idea that you're cleaning the surface, well, if that's the way you do it, and if you got a contaminant on the surface, well, all you're doing is smearing it around. You're not picking it up. So if you do it this way, and you soak her down with that, and then you dry it off with a towel, well, you're picking the contaminant up with your towel, right? And isn't that the whole idea? Isn't that what we're talking about here? That's what I'm talking about. And every panel, I change towels. It's like I've said before, if you got a contaminant on your panel, well, you don't want to pick it up off the quarter panel and then deposit it onto the door. Now, do you? Or do you? You know you don't. Somebody asked me once where you get these pump bottles from in one of the comments. You can get them everywhere. However, don't get them from a garden center. Because when you put a degreaser in it, chances are pretty good the O-rings and the seals and shit in it, they ain't going to be made for solvents. Well, here he is. It's the next day. I think it came out good. It's pretty straight. I have never used this paint before, so I was a little apprehensive when we painted it. When I was spraying the clear down anyways. Actually, the color kind of seemed, I've used this base coat before, and for whatever reason this time, the base itself seemed a little coarser, and I don't really know why that is. Seemed a little heavier than it usually is. The metallics in this color, they're in this line of paint, they're always a little coarser than a solid color. But this one even more so. The paint had quite a bit of texture when I put it down, and wasn't crazy about that. And the hey fatty cakes, the sealer flashed off super fast, and I didn't like that either. And I even used slow stuff in the sealer, and still, like by the time, like I sealed the trunk lid, and by the time, generally when I do something, so the roof blows overspray everywhere. So on something like this, if I do it without the hood, I'll do the trunk lid first so that it has like a wettish bed of liquid on it, and then I'll do the roof, because then the overspray of the roof, when it blows back onto the trunk lid, it'll kind of melt in. Well, it didn't do that because that trunk lid flashed off, like I say, in the blink of an eye. Right, fatty cakes? Fatty cakes, I'm talking to you here. Yeah, point your ears back at me, you little. So anyways, wasn't crazy about that. And the clear coat, I have never used it before. I didn't know what to expect. And the other clear that I would have put my first coat of clear down a little heavier than I put this first coat of clear down. What the hell do you even think you're doing, you old chubby kitty? So the next car that I paint, it will be nicer. But I mean, even still, it's pretty good, I think. It laid down all right. It's pretty clean. There's the odd bit here and there. Can you see that? There's a piece there in the roof. See that? But yeah, I don't know. I'm happy with it. I think it looks pretty good. It is the next day, and I was concerned that it would lose a bunch of its shine, because this clear coat that I used over it is half the price of the clear that I was using. And a lot of times when it's a cheaper product, you know, especially if you've never used it before, you just don't know. But there's an idea of the reflection up and down the side. It looks pretty good, I think. Just to give a walk, you know. I think a lot of people, I mean, there's a lot of camera angles and a lot of stuff you can do to try to make stuff look nice. You know what I mean? You get the right angle or something. But again, like when I look at something, so right now, I take that reflection you can see there and focus on that reflection, and then just walk it back and forth down the side of the car. Like it's a picture of a bunch of shit that I got. It's a picture of that stuff. You can get paint like this with a pile of shit sitting in your booth like that. Because nothing's going to get off of there. Nothing's going to come off of there and land up there. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Nothing is going to come off of there and land up there unless you go over there with a blowgun and you blow that shit all off while you're painting. So just whatever. Everybody who says that, there you go. There's one for you. But anyways, regardless, never mind. Yeah, I think it come out good. Like I said, there is a couple of bits. There's another one. Can you see that in the trunk? Normally, and I think part of what contributes to that is the paper. Usually for something like this, I'll use plastic because the plastic is staticky. So the dust and stuff that's on it, the static holds it there. Whereas the paper, it doesn't. Like I mean, this is what I was painting with. So, anyways, there it is. This has been a long time coming. I think I took this car apart in 2021 or 2020, something like that. Would you just cut it out? You quit it. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's the end of the video. There it is. The Firebird's finally painted. I just got to do the hood and some more bits, and then there's a lot of assembly to go on here. And I think one of these days I'm even going to start it up and put it in gear, and then let the clutch out and see if it moves. Wouldn't that be something?